Welcome to the Thriving Tides podcast. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Julianne. If you're an entrepreneur or busy individual looking for self-care ideas, you're in the right place.
And we can't wait to share our experiences with you. Welcome back to the closet. Thought I'd do an intro song.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Hi, guys. Hi, friends.
Yeah. I do support that, though.
Yes, okay,
Because
good.
you know what? I got you, girl.
Because, community,
Over.
competition.
Yes.
Hey. That is what we are talking today, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Community over competition. I'm sure you have probably heard it on your social media. You may have already used the hashtag that is associated with it as well. But yeah, I thought it would be a fun episode to kind of talk a little bit about that. And yeah.
Yeah. It's, in theory, an amazing concept.
In theory. Yeah.
And I love it. And I like to think that I live it. But I don't know how ingrained it really is at this point in the communities and the world that we live in. And, maybe this is going to stir a little controversy.
So is this our episode where we get canceled? Uh-oh. Ever since we do that episode, I just want
Not afraid. Listen, I got the Eminem song in my head right now.
I'm not afraid.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're back up.
We haven't sang in a while.
I know, right? Just feeling it today.
Just feeling it. It's all good.
Yeah, I think the thing with community over competition, I get canceled now. I feel like it's just a big buzzword that people are using. Ideally, I would love it. I feel like the world would be such a good place if we all believed in community over competition
And lived it.
Pardon?
And lived it.
And lived it. Yeah, like you were saying. I feel like it'd be huge for society. Can you imagine? We all our pies are filled. We're all, our egos aren't being, dissatisfied.
Right? We're not in that threatened state all the time.
Exactly. But unfortunately, I do find that, especially in business, my mom was saying the other day, business is cutthroat. I don't know why you're in it,
Mom.
Yeah. Mom. She's not a business owner.
I look at her like she's watching us right now.
She isn't.
It is hard though. And, you hear too, business is business and personal is personal and, whatever. But when you put your heart and soul into your business, it feels personal.
Oh, yeah.
And so when you're not feeling supported by your community around you, then that really hurts. And it makes you wonder, okay, so why should I go support these other people if I don't feel like I'm getting it in return? Which, even as I'm saying that, feels very selfish and kind of self-deprecating too.
It's the victim, it's that victim mentality.
Yeah.
Well, no one else is doing this for me. Why would I be like that?
I'm not doing that. Yeah, it's let's get on the drama triangle here and just...
The drama triangle.
Dun, dun, dun.
That cruel mistress.
Yeah.
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 Well, sometimes it's easy to play the victim and, say, woe is me. No one wants to support me.
Yeah. They're all over there doing their thing, and I'm just going to sit here and say how hard it is to be successful, and nothing's going to change anyway. And, yeah, that's super easy place to be. Not easy in the sense that it feels good.
I'll say it's the easy way out.
In the sense that you're just throwing up your hands and being at the effect of the circumstances around you and truly believing that there's nothing you can do.
Exactly.
So you just sit in your misery.
100%.
Stew in it. Just stew in it. Or take a bath in your misery.
Oh, man. But I don't know. Just from, and again, I don't want to sound like the bitter business owner or anything like that. I have so many stories, and the stories of people who use that hashtag, tout it, but then don't actually do it, And again, I think, business is business, and I do understand it at some point. But I feel like it's hard to fully believe that community over competition when I've had so many of these kinds of experiences. And again, I don't want to be the victim in it, but it's also having that understanding that you still have to make sure that you're doing what's best for yourself, and you have to support yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when, like, I feel like community over competition can kind of get hard, because I feel like we're just putting a Band-Aid over the comparison. You know, like, sometimes we're like, oh, they're doing so good. Community over competition. It's that toxic positivity almost.
Yeah.
What it's become is, like, we're not allowed to feel... And, again, that's why I feel like we're going to get canceled for this topic and, like, our, you know, other views on it, because everyone else is saying that community over competition is so great. Like, our poll was, like... or our questions, like, a lot of people responded with the community over competition is so great.
Yeah.
But then it's like, are we just, you know, being positively toxic about the, you know, comparison part of it?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think both.
So that's kind of a rhetorical question. Yeah. That's more of like a question statement. What?
What's happening? Yeah, it's the concept, like we said, is fantastic. And maybe there are people out there who truly do believe that they're living it.
Yeah.
And not seeing the forest through the trees, or recognizing how many little actions they're taking are completely deprecating the fact that they have used that hashtag or shared that post or done whatever, right? Because It's like the way you're showing yourself through social media and the things that you're doing there versus what you're actually doing in your day-to-day business can be two very different things.
Exactly.
And I think that's what you're alluding to in the examples that you know, we're not going to call people out or anything today.
Exactly.
But yeah.
And that's why I said I didn't want to be like sounding like a bitter person, because the thing is, I don't know the full story. I wasn't in the room. I don't know what happened. You know, I just heard it from someone else who heard it from someone else. And, you know, that's always the, you
that's
know.
dangerous territory.
That's a dangerous territory. So, like, I take it with a grain of salt. It's just more so self-awareness, I want to say. I still fully want to believe in community competition. I do practice it myself. It's actually kind of funny. I wrote in my notes too that, like, what I'll do sometimes is when I know, especially when I'm really, like, I have a lot of work going on, I'm not really wanting to take any clients on. I think, like, people serve their customers or their clients much more, like, differently in a way. So, like, if I know I'm not a good fit, I'll let someone else, like, I'll send them to someone else that I know that's a creative, or even someone that I know will give them exactly what they want. So, like, my friend, Tiffany, she's a fellow designer. She is, like, a boss at hand lettering. And if someone's looking for, like, a hand lettered logo or hand lettering done, like, I could do it. Would I be good at it? No. And it's not going to be good for my client at the end of the day, because they're paying me money and I'm, like, okay at it, you know? And at the end of the day, I wouldn't feel good about that. That would kind of be shitty. Yeah. So I'll send them to Tiffany. So shout out Tiffany Mac Design on Instagram. And, like, yeah, I totally could attempt it myself.
Yeah.
But, like, I wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to my client. So, and it's funny because James will even, my husband will even be like, you're saying no to money, Steph. Like, you can't do that. But at the end of the day, when you are a service-based business, you need to serve your clients. You want to make sure that they're okay.
And they'll remember that. It takes a very strong person to say, I'm not the right fit here.
Yeah.
Right? And say, like, I know someone who can do this better for you. And so if it's just the logo that they want today and you send them to Tiffany, well, when it's time to build a website, they're going to remember that you didn't just take them for their money and give them, you know, I'm sure it still would be great. But
yeah.
But you know she can do better.
Yeah.
Right? And so they'll be like, wow, I really trust Stephanie because, like, she told us to go somewhere else when we were very willing to give her our money. Yeah. Wow. Okay. But maybe there's something else that she can do for us. Or I'm going to recommend her to someone else because she seems to really put me first over her just wanting to make that next dollar.
No, that's
great.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I believe in karma, and I think that's a good karma thing too. So I don't know. Like, how do you feel with like all the coaches out there?
That's a great question. It varies. Some days I feel really good about it, and some days I feel like,
How am I supposed to compete? Yeah.
like there's not room for everybody. But I don't truly believe that. That's just when my scarcity mindset comes into play and I start getting nervous, or there's something else going on in my own mind that I'm like, ugh. But overall, I think the more coaches there are, the more it's showing that this is a legit field.
Yeah.
Because it is still newer. I still get a little worried, and I've ranted about this before, about the non-accredited or, not really trained people out there. But at the same time, like, consumers can educate themselves.
Yeah.
And so if they want to go with a coach who costs a lot less money because maybe they don't have the training and things like that, but that's where their budget's at and that's who they connect with, great. They're not for me then.
Exactly.
And if I've met people, I had someone come in for a sample session a couple months ago who truly just wanted to be a better public speaker. And I'm sure I could have helped him with that. But I was like, maybe you should just go to Toastmasters. Maybe that's the first step for you. And that was really hard because I was like, I really want some new clients right now.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to meet him. But I wasn't going to be giving him exactly what he was looking for. And I knew that. And that felt really weird.
Right.
Right. And so, and when it comes to looking at other coaches, we've been meeting a lot of different ones and trying to see, like, how could we work with each other? Is there like a joint partnership we could do together? Or tell me more about what you do so that if I have someone, I like to be able to recommend them to someone that I know I'm sending them somewhere good too, right? Like, you wouldn't have just like seen Tiffany's stuff and thought, oh, that's probably okay, I'll send people there if they need it.
Yeah.
Like, you've actually seen her work and probably talked to her and know her. So it's a trusted person that you're willing to do that with. So same with coaches. Like, the more I get to know what they're up to, then I can positively feel good about recommending other people to them if they're not the right fit for me. I feel like this is a good time to bring up that comment that we got too.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
it's a good
I'm
one.
just gonna pull my phone out for a moment.
I also put it on the bottom there, hey?
Oh, did you? Thank you.
Yeah,
You're the
I've been starting to
best.
put them on the bottom.
Yes, there is that one, but then they posted more.
Oh, okay, you want
Yeah.
them more. Okay,
I want the
sorry.
more.
Well, I'll start. Well, you pull up that. I'll say
Okay.
it. So the first comment that she said that I absolutely loved was that 100%, the emoji 100%. Yes. Everyone is unique. There really is room for all with the happy face. And I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. It's... No, I'm not going to go there right now. My brain is just firing.
I was going to say.
There's sparks everywhere. But something else that this person said too was that, like, so she's also a coach. So I love this. She's like, we could be saying all of the same things, but the delivery is different because we're different, right?
Yeah.
So I have my own personality. She has her own personality, and every coach is unique. Even Lisa and I both at Chandler Coaches coach on the same stuff, and some people really connect with her and some people really connect with me.
Yeah.
And it's just who we are, the energy that we bring, the way that we do things. And that's cool. That's
very
exciting
true.
because that gives more options to people. There's not just one way to do it.
And different perspectives too. And
Yeah. So what it says here is, you know, we always help lift each other up and still have plenty of business to go around because people resonate with different people. And honestly, yeah, if we didn't think that way, then we'd be constantly comparing or having imposter syndrome or wondering, you know, why are they getting all the clients?
yeah.
Why aren't people calling me? But instead, how can we be excited when our competitor gets a new client? How do we applaud them and say, way to go? Wow, that's
Right.
amazing.
And that's so hard to do sometimes, especially when like you're not winning. It's I don't
What's
know.
winning?
Well, like, okay, I'll just be, again, super authentic. I don't have very many clients right now. But I know my competitors / friends, because we're still friends and acquaintances, they're pretty busy still. And so I'm here like, okay, it's another lean month. This sucks. And so then again, I talk to them and I go on social media and I see them winning in that sense because here I am struggling. And it's I know myself, like, again, going back to like the ego and Jessica's talking, she's saying like, ooh, like and the thing is I'm taking it personally. Like I could start calling people right now, but I'm changing things in my business. So that's another reason why I'm taking it a little bit slower.
Yes.
And so it's realizing like, but it's so hard when, like, again, the comparison, the killer of joy, and you're seeing your competitors doing good. It's hard to be like, yay, you know? At the end of the day, after I realize, I throw my little pity party and realize that, Steph, you're being ridiculous. Jessica's really doing a number right now.
She's winning.
Then I get excited and I feel kind of guilty in a way, and then that's that whole other cycle. Then I feel bad that I was feeling bad because I'm like, there's still great people and
yes.
it's that cycle, and I hate that because they're lovely people, you know, and I would hope that they would, if they're, you know, they have too many clients or something, that they would send it my way. But if they don't, I have to also understand that they're business people and they're probably worried. And that's the thing too, like the scarcity mindset. There's some people that it's scary to say no to people, so they take on as probably too much that they can probably handle too. And that can kind of like negatively affect the community over competition, where you feel like you have to protect all your resources and leads and stuff because perhaps you're going to have a lean month like me, you know, if they're worried that they're going to have a lean month like me, you know. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
yeah, I think this time last year especially, that was a big factor.
For a lot of people too. Yeah.
We're recently into lockdown. This pandemic is going all over the world, and we don't know what the future brings. So it was me, and I saw a lot of that.
Resource protecting,
like the government funding that we had, right? The business adaptation program.
That was bad for community over competition. There's a lot of knives going out. Like
that was cutthroat. And I feel very grateful and fortunate that I was able to land some clients through that program. But I know that there's other organizations who took on a lot of clients and did not do a great job.
Oh, yeah. I heard a couple things.
Yeah. And I think that was them being like, this might be the only revenue we get.
Exactly.
And so I understand that you want to keep the lights on and pay your staff and do the things, but at what cost? Right. And then where else is that showing up? Obviously, the fear and the ego is heightened in a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's something none of us have faced before. So I'm not saying, you know, beat yourself up for something you did a year ago, but if that's who you were or what you did, how can you learn from that? How can you accept that, okay, I was really scared and that drove these actions. But now, how do I start to recognize when I'm getting greedy or I'm getting fearful, and so I'm keeping everything so closed and tight and not letting myself say, you know what, I'm actually really full right now. If you can wait a month or two, we could get started then. If you need to start right away, here are some people that I recommend.
Yeah.
Rather than likely burning yourself out and or doing a mediocre job just to say that you got the clients and to be able to hit those revenue targets.
Exactly. And the worry, fear.
Yeah. It is scary. It's even without a pandemic, running a business is terrifying.
Yeah.
And stressful. And so I get how scary it is to say no or to, you know, send them to someone else or whatever it might be. But that scarcity mindset is a bit of a devil. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
luckily I've learned, like, to control my scarcity mindset. That's one problem I don't have. Like I said, I'm okay with sharing. Like, I'll tell people to go somewhere else if I know it's not a fit. Well,
Yeah.
because again, it's not going to be a good fit for me. It's not going to be a good fit for you.
Maybe
Our
you're not gonna have
relationship's not
fun
going
with
to.
it.
Yeah, our relationship is not going to be good. Like, it's just no. If
Yeah.
you're going to spend your money, I'd rather you spend it wisely, and effectively too. Like, I understand how we creatives, like, we can get expensive, and if you're going to put that money, I want to make sure that you get your biggest bang for your buck. But I don't know. I hope that people do the same thing. I've never gotten anyone saying that someone else from my field has recommended them to me, unfortunately. But that could also just be that they didn't tell me. There's a chance that, and that's again, like, I could just be saying it. My whole bitterness about it is maybe because I don't hear it. You know what I mean? And that could be a big factor. So that's why I always kind of like to ask people where they found me too. Like, not only for, marketing and, tracking your ROI on things, but also just to kind of see, like, did I get recommended?
Yeah.
Like, that's another reason why I put up a referral program for my business, because I want to see where people, like, are coming from too.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. I'm glad that the scarcity mindset is something that you've been able to control. And a lot of people think that the opposite of scarcity is abundance. But what I really like to say is sufficiency. Because just because you're not in a scarcity mindset doesn't need to mean you don't need to go all the way to the point of it being like more than enough.
yeah.
But can you just have enough? Can
True.
you be enough? That's a whole other little hole we could go down. But
Wait,
and if
I want to go down the hole a little bit.
okay,
Could that also, like, again, going back to self-care, if you're taking on too much, you're going to burn out faster
yes,
as well.
100%.
Always back to self-care.
Everything comes back to self-care.
Yeah.
Especially on Thriving Tides.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you can truly believe and see it that there is enough for everybody, then it's a lot easier to boost your competition, right? Or to celebrate them and be excited and know that, okay, just because that person got that doesn't mean that you're getting anything less, right? They're often not connected. Sometimes I guess they are if you're bidding on the same projects. But you can't do it all.
Yeah.
If you took on every project that was on this island,
Ugh.
it would take you the rest of your life to get through it all.
Exactly.
You'd be so stressed out thinking that you're letting people down because you're not able to hit their deadlines, right? Who wants to work with a designer like that? How's that going to get you? There's your 2-star reviews coming.
Exactly. And that's not good for your brand. And then the whole cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And another thought I just had about, like, scarcity mindset, and why it doesn't control me. Like, it does a little bit, but not, like, as much as I, like, for business-wise. My mom would always say, and I think I mentioned it a couple times, the, like, money comes and goes. It's it's an energy. Like, if you're constantly worried about money, then, money isn't going to come to you. Again, it's a mindset thing. Like, if you're saying, oh, my time will come, I'm just perfecting everything right now. And that's where I'm trying to keep reminding myself. Like, yes, it's a little bit hard when, like, I'm looking at my bank account going, like, do. It is hard. I get it. And if you're a business owner listening and you can resonate with this, like, I see you. I feel you. But that's also business. It's the ups and downs.
100%.
So.
Yeah. It's anyone who thinks that running a business and growth is just this, like, solid line that goes up. You crazy.
I wish. Oh, my goodness. If you run a business like that.
There's so many peaks and valleys and complete drops and then jumps and, there's everything.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it all because that's where the lessons come from too, right? If everything was just super easy, I mean, yes, you'd have a lot of money in the bank.
Yeah.
But what lessons are you really learning? Let's learn from the school of hard knocks here.
What is the lesson?
What's the lesson?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, scarcity mindset for me too. Like every now and then when I see, okay, there's a new leadership coach in town or, someone just announced their business, even if I knew it was coming, just seeing it posted on social media, sometimes I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
You just get that But then I'm like, okay, I check in with myself before I go down the rabbit hole of checking out their social and their website and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, okay, where am I right now? Am I below the line? Then it's not good for me to go do all that comparison if I'm already feeling in a threatened state.
Exactly.
But if I'm feeling good and I can be excited and happy for them, especially if it's someone that I know, that I want to go check out their website, send them a message, congratulate them, welcome them to the community. But I don't know what might have happened to me that day that it happens, right? So we have to check in with ourselves.
Yeah.
Another great thing to check in with ourselves, I think this relates to the scarcity mindset, is jealousy and insecurity. And it all kind of plays a little bit in the same field, I think. But it may not just be that you're feeling like there's not enough, but you're just jealous.
Yeah, like, I want that.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does she got that I don't have?
I could do it better.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it
that's
can feel
ego.
that way. Yeah. Hello. I'm smarter.
Yeah.
I'm better. And it can feel that way, right? Or then the insecurity comes in because you're like, well, wait a second. Like, I thought I was good. I thought I was doing all the right things. What am I doing wrong? And then Jessica shows up, starts telling you that you don't know what you're doing.
Jessica.
You didn't listen to our ego episode.
Yeah, that's not going to make any sense.
Go back and listen and you'll understand who Jessica is.
Yeah.
But it's like, if we're not feeling confident, then everything can feel like a threat, right? Because we're feeling really insecure. So again, it's checking in with yourself, practicing that self-care, taking a break. Because I find when I'm feeling the least confident, it's when I'm burnt out and tired. That's when everything feels so much harder.
Yeah.
And I start to doubt myself. Even before I came over here to record, I was exhausted like 3 hours ago. And I was like, there's no way I'm even going to be able to string words together on this episode, right?
Yeah.
And I start telling myself this, and I was telling Dave, and he's just like looking at me like I'm crazy.
He's like, I know you're going to like it once you get there.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be fine.
Right?
Yeah.
But it just, the voices in our heads and the things we tell ourselves can be very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we just don't so we can mirror that to ourselves, but we can mirror it to others too. And then it's like, well, I don't want to celebrate her because I'm pissed off and I'm jealous.
Yeah.
But then we wonder, why is nobody celebrating us? So if we share something that we're proud of and it's like crickets.
You're like, why?
But have we been doing what we're expecting others to do?
Right. Yeah, are we what we would want for ourselves?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
Oh, that's a really, I'll have to do some work on that. Journal. I'm going to have some journaling to do. Yes. But like, yeah, I guess confidence is one of the things. I've always struggled with like confidence because again, like my anxiety, I'm always constantly thinking and comparing and like, so that one kind of was like, oof. To me, I didn't see that one coming. I don't really know what to say to that, like, because I just feel called out isn't the word, because I know, like, it is true, like, it's when I do something, why isn't that happening for me? And it is true, like, sometimes I'm so, like you were saying, I'm not feeling good right now, so it's really hard for me to lift someone else when I'm feeling anxious and depressed.
Absolutely.
Because I can't even do it for myself. And so it's like, that's when we go back to like self-care. Like, if you take care of yourself, then you can take care of others and be part of the community. Yeah. And that's something that I'm trying to, because I always villainize myself and make myself feel really ugly and bad inside because I'm not doing that. But then I look back on myself and like, you're not lifting yourself up. So how can you lift others up if you're not lifting yourself up? Yeah. And I think that's something that I'm definitely going to have to journal on, because I'm just like, my head is exploding with a bunch of different like thought patterns right now. Yeah. Of like, yeah, it's true that when you are feeling super down, it is hard to think that community over competition is a thing. You know? Yeah, absolutely. All the other stuff takes over big time. So in that self-care practice, where can you recognize that that's happening?
Or what are some simple things you can do to take care of you? And then also some simple things you can do to lift up the others around you.
Exactly.
And it doesn't, community over competition doesn't need to rest on you as an individual, right? You are one piece of that community. But you can also be a leader in it.
Yeah.
So it's, how much do you want to be that person that's doing it? And I think right now, like, I guess always, social media is a tough place to be in because sometimes I feel like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
And, there's different people who are saying, if you're staying silent about certain things that you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
But then if you speak up and you say the wrong thing, then you're
Then
getting
you're
yelled at
canceled.
for that. And it can be a really hard place to be.
Yeah.
But if we can check in with our intentions and say, okay, well, my intention here is to simply, maybe I'm going to highlight a different person a week, share a business that I love, or I don't know, like there's lots of different ways we can do it and just find that intention behind it. But have it not be just so I can jump on the community over competition bandwagon.
Yeah.
Also, like, is it truly who you are at your core being that this is what you want to do?
Yeah.
Otherwise, people are going to see through it, right? It's that authenticity again.
Exactly. And like that's the thing with like it's too trendy. Like I feel like some people are using it, and you can tell when it's fake and it's not authentic, in a way,
Yeah.
And I don't know. Again, it goes back to like the whole branding side of it too. That a lot of us, we are our brands, and if we're not being authentic with ourselves. Yeah. I don't know. Ooh.
Yeah. It's a good time to check in with yourself of who am I? What is my brand? What am I doing here?
What is life?
Is life? Things are getting real deep on Thriving Tides
Another
today.
existential crisis. Welcome to your existential crisis.
You're welcome.
Episode.
You're welcome.
Oh man, yeah, no, it's true, and it's so true that we were saying like social media takes a whole new toll on everything.
Yeah, it's a place where people can show up inauthentically.
Yeah,
and many people won't understand that.
Yeah.
But that's outside of our control.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can control is us showing up authentically, us doing what we believe is right, hoping that others will do the same, but knowing that that's their choice. And like you said, karma. Yep. Yeah, it's a tough one. I really want to believe that community over competition isn't just a fad.
Yeah. Oh, I hope it isn't. I really do think it should be, especially in smaller communities, like, especially here on PEI, too. Like, I feel like it's needed. We need to all be together. We need to all listen to each other. We need to be inclusive. We need to have conversations. We need to, like, support each other.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I come from a big city where community over competition isn't really a big thing because there's a really big competition field, but then there's also a lot of people looking for the services. So it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But, like, when you are in smaller communities, it's just so much easier to all stay together and look out for each other.
Yeah.
And I do really hope that, like, and I do see it getting better. Like, I think part of my bitterness that comes from like the COVID era, and it didn't really help anything.
So
we're all learning.
It's
we're
still
all
so hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're all going through this whole different change pattern, and that's why I said like I didn't want to sound like bitter or make excuses. Like this is just my like what I've seen and from what I've heard and how I've been hurt. So it's like,
yeah,
you take everything with a grain of salt, right?
Oh, 100%.
But I do think that it all starts with you. Now, I do want to mention, because I did write in my notes, because it's something that I do really think, but it's like the thing that competition is actually really good. And we need competition to thrive, especially as business owners. Like, you go into entrepreneurship knowing that you're going to have a competitor.
Absolutely.
Because the thing is, it pushes you to strive for more and to evolve as a business. I think it gets bad when competition turns ugly and then it involves you thinking that you need to undercut someone else, especially when your pie is full.
Yes.
That's when I'm like, ooh, competition is not a good thing. That's when it gets ugly.
Yeah.
But, like, can you imagine if, like, you didn't have any competitors and people were just coming to you? Like, yeah, sure, it'd be great. But, like, would you be fulfilled? Would you feel like, why would you put anything on social media? Would you serve your clients and customers?
Yeah. Where are you really striving to be any better?
Right?
Or where do you need to?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
competition is always good. Like, where you see a monopoly, things can go really astray.
yeah. The power dynamic in that is like, ooh, then it's not good for the customers. And, you know, and as a customer, everyone's a customer at one point. Like, well, every day, everyone's a customer.
Yeah.
When you think about it. So we're all customers. We would hope that a company would have our best interest in mind. So you wouldn't want people to have a monopoly because they're probably not going to have your best interest in mind.
Yeah.
But I digress. I don't know. It's like a competition keeps you in check almost.
It can. Yeah, for sure. And, like, especially, like, well, when you think about us as service-based, again, we're all unique, right?
Yeah.
So it's, what is your competitive edge? Like, a graphic designer, there could be a billion different graphic designers and you all do different things.
Well, people like styles. Like, especially in the creative industry, everyone has styles or specialties.
Yeah.
Like, I know Ashley Green, she does really bomb-ass logos, and, like, they're really simple and clean.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, Tiffany, she does the hand-lettered.
Yeah.
My friend Claudia, she does awesome infographics. I could go on. Oh, my goodness. But, like, like, it's true. Like, there's so many people that I'd be like, oh, you do that better. You do that better than me.
But even, like, if I lined all of you up and said I want a logo and explained this even the same way to each of you how I wanted a logo done, you would all do it differently.
Yeah.
And that's cool too, right? So it's like, who do I connect with and can do what I think I want them to do, right? So there's just so many different things. But even when it comes to, like, products and brick and mortar and all that kind of stuff, like, there's competition but ways to differentiate yourself. And yeah. I'm just agreeing with you. Competition's great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just kind of wanted to put that out there. Like, I'm not anti-competition.
No.
It's just more so, like I said, like, I just, as a person who takes everything personally, it's really hard to be in business sometimes. And I'm learning the hard way. And sometimes I do look at the job listings because I'm like, am I cut out for entrepreneurship? Because it is. Unfortunately, there's a lot of, you know, cutthroat things that happen and people making decisions, which, again, I don't know their story. Maybe they are, you know, going through the same thing with me and they just want to take another client on. Or they have employees and, like, they need to reach a certain budget, so they had to take on that client.
Yeah.
I don't know the full story.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, we need to be a little bit realistic when we talk about community over competition and not make other people feel bad when they're not participating in the hashtag, you know, and the trend. Like, I will comment and send personal messages to creatives and tell them how much I love their things.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think we need to remember too, like, we put a lot of emphasis on what happens on social media.
Yeah.
And we think, well, if it's not being if they're not posting it on social media, then they're not the community over competition people.
Yes.
But you could be spending 75% of your budget with locals, and, like, you know, there's different ways that you can be elevating others that's not on social media for the world to see.
Yeah.
So, like, going back to what you were just saying, like, we don't always know the full story.
Yeah.
So we can be quick to, when I say we, the collective we, not just you and I in the closet here.
Yeah.
But all of us can be quick to make assumptions, make up stories, and think that we know, like, they're just saying that, but I know this.
Oh, they're totally backstabbing, like, me. They hate me, and they want to see me fail.
And if you take things personally and you have allowed Jessica, then of course that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, we just wanted to have this conversation because we truly do want this to be the community that we live in.
Yeah.
And we want to see, you know, how sometimes it feels like there's a little cliques. Right? Like, ooh, there's a cool club group over here, all the cool kids, and they are always all supporting one another, but you don't see anyone outside of that.
Yeah.
Well, is that a fact or is it a story? Am I just seeing what I'm mirrors the story that I've already made? So then it's a good time to like check yourself, take a meta view look at it and see what's true.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, but if I'm feeling that way, then why don't I start my own little cluster over here? And maybe the two clusters are going to join forces. Like, who knows, right? But me sitting here being pissed off is not going to make it any better.
So true.
So check yourself.
Before you wreck yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was hoping you would do that.
I was thinking in my whole head the whole time that you were saying that. Because I was like, I'm going to say it. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Do it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't want to get canceled for this episode because I think overall, from what we've heard from our community, y'all really love community over competition, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
And we are so excited that that's the general consensus. But I'm hoping that we can have these conversations so that, again, it's not just a trend and a Band-Aid over toxic positivity culture,
Yes.
and it's an actual conversation that I do think needs to be kind of had.
Yeah. And the opportunity for all of us to take a true look inwards and say, where's the scarcity mindset taking over? Where are opportunities for me to share the wealth?
Yeah.
And collaborate even, right? Maybe it's collaboration over competition too.
Yes.
Is another C that we can drive in there, because sometimes we're putting two different providers together is going to, again, get the better end product for the customer. And that's truly what we're here for.
Exactly.
And to make money.
Yeah.
So yeah, check in with yourself. What's the intention behind it? What's really driving it? I think those are the key things. Support each other.
Yeah.
Be kind.
Be
What
kind.
does Dr. Morrison say?
Oh, shoot.
Be patient,
Be
kind.
patient, be kind.
Something like that.
Oof.
That was a big thing like a year ago, and then it kind of fell off.
I don't know. There's my sister-in-law makes really good t-shirts on them. I don't know if she makes them anymore, but We Wanderers.
Oh, yes. Those are cute.
Yeah, she makes really cool,
Yeah.
cute little t. Yeah, I think it is be patient, be kind.
I think. Yeah.
I don't know. Ugh.
Hope we didn't screw that one up.
I was going to say.
Sorry, Dr.
We're
Morrison.
canceled.
We still want you on the podcast.
We're canceled.
We can't remember everything.
Yeah,
But yeah.
Especially on a Thursday evening. Nope.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you're in my community.
Yeah.
And this is a great collaboration.
I was going to say, it's a great collaboration.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, and I enjoy having people in here so that we can share other entrepreneurs and what they're up to with our community, and we cross over into their community.
Yeah.
And the more we can do things like this and start getting to know people that we don't necessarily know, because our guests started with like our friends,
Yeah.
right? And then
people we knew are my clients.
when we started interviewing people then that we didn't really know, it was scary, but it's also very exciting. And we've learned a lot about lots of different things.
Yeah.
So like check out our guest episodes if you haven't. But I think that's a really great way that we get to practice this through Thriving Tides.
Exactly. And that's a really exciting thing. Oh, I love our community.
Yeah.
Like even, yeah. Oh,
Heartfelt.
ending.
What else you got for us?
I don't know. I feel like this is a good place to end this episode because I feel like, yeah, it is true. I think at the end of the day, we just need to go inwards, look at yourself, take care of yourself first. And when you feel like you've supported yourself, support others.
And do your best.
Do your best. We can't all be perfect. Yeah, I think competition's good. And don't be afraid to shout out other people, and let's all just be good people. Let's just,
Yeah. The rising tide lifts all the boats.
Hashtag thriving tides.
Just saying.
Gotta thrive.
Make that up, but
I like it. It ties in with the brand.
Exactly.
All right. Well, another episode is done.
Yeah. Community over
competition.
competition.
Or collaboration over competition.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Thriving Tides. Hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode.
Follow us, Thriving Tides, on Facebook, Instagram, and now YouTube to stay connected. And remember, don't fight the rip currents.